Hey guys, welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. I'm Matt. Today we have the Battle of the Lions.
Hey guys, smash that like button. I'm Tim. We're MrMaple.com. We do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples. We ship directly to your door. And guys, shop us on MrMaple.com, but also make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We put out daily content for you on Japanese maple and gardening that you'll surely enjoy.
Today we've got the Battle of the Lions. So we've got Shishigashira, the lion's head, versus Kurinajishi, the dark red lion.
Guys, we've got two different lion's heads, and they're very, very different. One's the traditional classic Japanese maple from the 1700s, and one is one of the newer selections. Both are selections from Japan. They're very different on their leaf shape, but they both have that twisting, curling habit where they get that lion's head style foliage.
Now, full disclosure, the Kurinajishi here is a little bit older than the Shishigashira. Shishigashira tends to have a faster growth rate overall than Kurinajishi. So these are a good bit older. You can see, though, when grown under similar conditions, they do have a similar aesthetic in that taller, extended height to them, more of a narrow plant when young, but filling out to a nice, dense canopy.
Now, the Shishigashira, the name Shishi is a mythological lion in Japanese literature. And it's kind of like saying Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse whenever you're talking about Shishi is a specific lion in Japanese literature. And it's a classic Japanese maple that is a really nice Japanese maple. The leaves curl upward on it, and it is very heat tolerant. It goes to yellows and oranges in the fall, and it's a classic Japanese maple that has become very popular in the nursery trade today, even though it's one that's introduced, well over 100 years ago.
Now, Kurinajishi is one where the foliage tends to curl under the leaf a good bit. This one is a dark red, especially in that early spring. Now, it's not uncommon for midsummer this to get a little bit greener with dark red new growth, and exceptional fall color on Kurinajishi as well. It actually mimics the Shishigashira a little bit in the fall color. Shishigashira is one of the best fall color Japanese maples. It is a blaze orange with accents of red and yellow, and Kurinajishi does mimic that a little bit, having some of that red and yellow coloration in it as well.
Now, if you're in a zone 8, you may need to give Kurinajishi some protection from the hot afternoon sun, where Shishigashira can often even handle some zone 8 in those high heat settings. So Shishigashira is a little more heat tolerant than Kurinajishi. They both make great container plants. This was a selection by one of Masayoshi Yano's friends, and Masayoshi Yano, our friend in Japan, actually got to put the name Kurinajishi on it, which translates as deep red lion. And that's because this deep red spring color can almost give you a brick color in the spring, and with that ruffled foliage, it really reminded Yano-san of the Shishigashira.
Shishigashira is classic for so many reasons. Now, if you're not familiar for this one, it is a tree that can stump some master gardeners either. Some people might walk up to this and not notice that it's exactly a Japanese maple at first. It has a very unique look to it. That dark green foliage can really stand out amongst other Japanese maples, and that tight density to it really brings something unique to the garden and landscape. Now, this is also a very popular tree for bonsai. I've had friends of mine that have done over 50 years of bonsai of Shishigashira. It is a classic for so many reasons, and really unique amongst all Japanese maples. Shishigashira really makes an interesting focal point planting, and I think the newer accompaniment of Kurinajishi can also add a lot to that. That one's going to be one that's also would make a very unique bonsai. Now, I haven't seen 50 years of bonsai done at Kurinajishi, but man, that'd be a dope one for sure to have as a bonsai.
It really would. They both make great container plants too. They both fit in smaller places in the garden. One thing that is really unusual that makes them so well for container plants and for bonsai is they both have thicker trunks, and they get very thick trunks, and their branching is thicker than many other Japanese maples. And that just gives them this regal presence even at a younger age. Definitely an awesome plant because of that. I mean, that their structure is almost just as impressive as the foliage themselves, but they both give that unique texture out there in the landscape. And that ruffled foliage contrasts well against so many other Japanese maples. You see some moonrise around the outer edges. I mean, that larger leaf contrasts so well with both of these, with that flat leaf. The texture, I think, is often something that people forget about in the landscape and garden. And both of the lion's head Japanese maples, the Shishigashira and the Kurinajishi, really bring a unique texture.
Now, let us know in the comment section which you like better, Kurinajishi or Shishigashira. But we're not done yet. Let's go check out another lion. All right, guys, we're here with another member of the lion family, Acer palmatum Ojishi.
Guys, Ojishi is a slower growing Shishigashira, essentially, with a little bit flatter leaf. It's much more diminutive in its size, a little more compact. but the new growth flushes can have a little bit of a curl to it. But as this tree gets older, you're starting to notice a much flatter leaf than your traditional Shishigashira.
Yeah, it's very obvious once you've seen the difference in the two. The leaf gets way more flat in the middle of it. Now, they are very similar to Shishigashira. Ojishi is actually the male line in the family there. Really nice plant. You know, where Shishigashira is typically in that 8-foot range in 10 years, something like Ojishi is much slower growing at around 5 feet, maybe even 6 feet, even in a 10-year span. So it's a little bit smaller to get out there, but a showstopper, that same classic brilliant orange with accents of red and yellow in it as Shishigashira in the fall, making it an interesting part of the lion family.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more rare varieties of the lion's head type. This is probably one of the least common you see now in the nursery trade, besides the one we're about to go check out.
Now, it's definitely the least common you'll see, correct. I will see this one at garden centers labeled as Shishigashira, but once you know that distinctive flat foliage, you'll know the difference for sure.
So guys, let's go check out another member of the lion's head family.
All right, guys, we're here with the last official member of the lion family. This one's the baby lion. I'm standing next to an over 20-year-old tree.
This is Acer palmatum Meiji. This is one of the slowest growing selections of any of the Shishigashira selections. This thing's pretty awesome. This is in our gardens here at Maplewood Gardens. And this is such an old plant. I mean, it's, you know, like Matt said, an over 20-year-old tree. And we're looking at a plant that's right about 6 foot tall.
Yeah, guys, this tree is the lion cub. It is the baby lion. This tree is going to look basically, essentially just like Shishigashira, but it is tiny. In the same time frame, Shishigashira would be well over 10 feet tall and a much larger specimen. But it makes a really fun one here in the landscape. Exact same fall colors you're used to with Shishigashira, where it's going to range from orangey to yellow to reds all in there. Really puts on a show. And we thought we'd get all the members of the lion family here today on camera so that you'll know there's the Majishi, the Ojishi, the Shishigashira, and then that honorary cousin, the Kurinajishi.
Guys, that's the lion's head family. So we brought you today the lion's head collection, guys. I really hope you enjoyed a showcase, just showcasing a classic Japanese maple, all of its relatives. I mean, so many awesome plants out there in that lion's head family.
Hey guys, if we earned it, make sure to ring that bell if we did well and subscribe to all of our notifications. We're putting out gardening content here 7 days a week on Mr. Maple, and the best way to support our channel is checking out MrMaple.com for a great Japanese maple.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.
Well, wait, guys, there's more. We had one more lion cousin I wanted to throw on camera here today. You guys have heard us talk about this one before. It's Acer palmatum Nanyat. Now, why I consider this one a lion's head cousin is because this one reminds me of Aoyagi X Shishigashira. So it kind of has qualities of both those combined into one tree.
It has that flatter leaf, almost like Ojishi. I mean, that's the leaf that's closest to it. But this tree is a little more vigorous growing, and it gets that green bark during the winter. It was a selection by our good friend, Bob Baltzer. And he found this as a chance seedling and named it after his wife, Nancy, and combined her name, Nancy, with Yatsubusa to get Nanyat.
Now, one of our favorite questions when we're visiting, you know, some of the historic nurserymen, say, what's your best introduction? And what do you wish you'd introduce? This was in that pile of, hey guys, I wish I'd introduced this. So he shared some Sonwood with us, as well as our other friend, Talon Buckholtz, who he was a mentor to, and got Nanyat into the trade. So Acer palmatum Nanyat, honorary member here of the lion's head cousin.
One of my favorite times on this plant, that fall color. I mean, that fall color is just a bright school bus yellow. We got a whole cultivar highlight on Nanyat, so go check that video out as well.
Yeah, it literally steals a little bit of its color from that Aoyagi bold yellow. It is almost a perfect combination of Shishigashira and Aoyagi. I really like how it brings both those worlds together in one plant. Had to mention it though, because that foliage is so reminiscent of the lion's head.
So take care, part 2.
God bless.
And have a great day again.